Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 4th of February, comes to you from London. And a little bit of red on the screen this morning, but on the whole, equity market's still pushing higher. We see the dollar actually having a recovery here. We see this short-term 60-minute chart pushing to new highs again. So remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart, my long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market with the corresponding point and figure charts and targets, which of course are unique to Updata. And so we look at the dollar here. It is short-term bullish, long-term. We are still in a bear trend, but we look to have found a floor here, so we are seeing a bit of a re-rating going on. That means the euro has actually fallen below the 120 level for the first time in several weeks. We haven't seen this level since the beginning of December, so we are seeing the euro with that setback there. We do have some quite big downside targets here on the very long-term chart of the euro, but short-term it's this 3.6% downside target, although there is support potentially not far from where we are now. Against the yen, the dollar is back above the 105 level. Hasn't been here for a while. Really, November was the last time we saw that level. So we're seeing that dollar strength really playing through across a lot of currencies. And even against sterling, we were at 137 at one point. We're now at 135. So we're seeing that strong dollar having its impact there. Taking a look at sterling against the euro, we're sitting at 113.25, so still holding on to the gains, multi-month highs there. Bitcoin is sitting at $37,000, really stuck in this range at the moment, between $30,000 and $40,000, and it'll be where we break that decides where we go next. We do still have downside targets hanging over us, so that's something to watch. If you're trading Bitcoin, keep an eye on the short-term 1-minute charts. We see here on the 60-minute chart we do have a target back to 40,000, so that is encouraging for Bitcoin traders. The S&P 500 index was up slightly yesterday, and the Nasdaq was also relatively flat. It's just struggling to break that high that we saw last week. So it'll be interesting to see how the markets do today. The Dow keeps pushing ahead. There's a rotation going on where we are seeing the more defensive stocks starting to gain some traction, and that means that the Dow is outperforming the other indices. We do see the futures up this morning. The S&P E-mini future is up 0.2%, and the Nasdaq is up 0.4%. So it does suggest that the UK market is going to open higher today. The VIX volatility is up slightly, but being back in the 20s, the fear index is not creating much cause for concern at the moment. The FTSE 100 index is up this morning. This is the future up 0.75%, and the DAX in Germany is up 0.5%. So we are seeing European markets still pushing higher. CAC Current up by a similar amount. So that's quite key there as well. Taking a look at Tokyo, the Japan market was down 0.5%. The Hang Seng was down 2/3%, and China was down 0.4%. So we are seeing Far Eastern markets generally down. The Sensex is actually up. It's had an amazing week, seeing that weekly candle pushing to new highs. So India looking very strong indeed. And the Aussie market was actually down just under 1%. Still got a lot of work to do to break to new highs there. Gold sitting at $1,815, so it's pulling back. We've got downside targets here in the short term. That's the level to watch, that level we saw back in December, the end of November, 1765. So we've got to make sure we hold on to that level. The targets to the downside are not lower than that. Silver also down 1.6%, so been in the news quite a bit this week, of course, but we are pulling back, so no big surprises there. Looking at 10-year yields, they're just ticking up all the time, 1.13%. So it'd be very interesting to see if we can go higher than this 1.2% we saw earlier in the January. Looking at the energy mix now, we've got Brent crude pushing higher, sitting at 58.80. We've got this target of $60.20. Results out from Shell this morning, big losses there. The oil price falls last year, weighing very heavily. WTI actually recovering as well, and US nat gas sitting at $2.76. We've been really sitting in this range of $2.73 now for quite a few months on nat gas, so it's been making it quite a difficult call. Coal sitting at $65, so that's just pulling back slightly, and emissions have had an amazing week. We had a breakout which we flagged a couple of days ago, We are just pulling back a little bit this morning. No big surprises there, but we are essentially holding on to those gains. Looking at the gas markets, MBP, natural gas in the UK, is up 1%. We seem to have found support around this 45 pence per therm level. And if we look at TTF front month, we're sitting at 227. So holding on, we're sitting at up 2.27%, holding on to that 17 support area, sitting at 18 euros at the moment. And upside targets to 18.48, 18.43 suggest we will go higher on the gas markets. And if we look at the seasonal, we're at 1.5% there as well. The German power is up 0.3% at 52 euros, breaking to new highs there, so that's really significant as well. How high can we go? Well, we've got targets of 56, 55, so don't be surprised to see German power running much higher yet. This is a big move here, consolidation, potentially another big move in store. And if we take a look at Nordic power, up 1.5% on the cow, so looking just holding on to those levels at the moment. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.